Taylormade were the last brand to put their new drivers for 2025 onto the USJ conforming list. They did so today with their new Qi-35. We just have to expect that some of the Tour Pros will be putting this into their bag over the next couple of weeks. I mean, it's been known for a couple of months now what these were going to be called, but there's not really been any leaked information on why it has been called the Qi-35. I think we can safely guess that it's not going to be Quest for Inertia 35,000. And there is actually a trademark for a Qi-50 as well, but there's not at the moment any signs of that. And there is a possibility that that might even be the trademark for next year's. Now, I have read somewhere on a possibility of what it might stand for, albeit it is quite a confusing reason. Basically, the LS model is going to be adjustable into 3 different settings. So it's basically going to play as 3 different drivers. And then there's 3 different base models with the LS, the Max, and the standard head. So overall, you've got 3 models, which is the 3, and then 5 different playing abilities. So that makes the 35. Now, there is only supposed to be black and white images available of this so far, which when you put any drivers onto the conforming list, they always do it in black and white. By the time I upload this, I can imagine that there probably will be some coloured ones floating around. And at the moment, there's only pictures of the sole available, which again, I'd imagine in 24 hours or so, there probably will be top pictures as well from a dress. But looks-wise, even in this black and white picture, the first thing that stood out to me was the LS head. Now, that looks significantly smaller than the other 2. And I'm just wondering whether that is going to be a bit smaller than a 460cc, which I can't imagine it being because if it is offering 3 different head types, don't think they would make something smaller and make it so much less forgiving, but it definitely looks like it will look a bit smaller from a dress than the other 2. The weights look interesting in that as well. They've gone with 3 separate ones, 2 at the front and 1 at the back, as opposed to the track that they've had for the last few years. I'd imagine the back one you won't be able to swap around with the front 2. Only says on the sheet, as you can see there, that there is a weight there, but it doesn't really specify whether it's the same type of weight as the front 2. I've seen a lot of people complaining that it's going to be a carbon face again. I don't know what it is, but people really don't like change, especially in the golfing world. There just is obviously quite a bit of talk about the faces coming out, which hopefully we won't see as much of this year. In my experience, they do seem to be getting better and better each year with it, and that is supposedly going to match the rest of the colour scheme in black. On the standard model then, the noticeable difference there for me is that the weight has actually moved more central than it has been in previous models. Like the last 3 or 4, like in the Stealths and the QI, and I think possibly the Sim, the standard head has actually had the weight slightly towards the heel, making it slightly draw biased. And it does say there is a weight at the back as well in this one, but again, it doesn't actually state whether you're going to be able to change that with the front one or not. Like it might actually be a different weight altogether. It's kind of hard to tell off the image. And then the Max head seems to have got rid of the weight altogether, with only having 1 right at the back, which you obviously won't be able to change with anything. But I'm surprised they didn't do that last year, because I remember them saying at the start of the year when they first released the QI that they didn't want people thinking it was like a high draw option like the Stealth HD, and they wanted to just be a forgiving model, which I'd never understood really why they put the weight as close to the heel as they could possibly get it. So maybe they'd done the same sort of thing, but maybe just weighted it inside the head. They probably slapped a bit of hot glue in there right in the heel section. What I'm wondering about is those 3 little marks on the bottom of each sole, with them being a bit closer together on the LS. Definitely think they have a meaning behind them, or maybe it's even just how they designed the club. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to trying the most, alongside the Wilson. Looks pretty good for this year as well. But we've pretty much got a new driver in every brand this year, so it should be a good year for testing some out. Taylormade seems to get so much hate, like looking up and down the comments, everybody is slating them off for like releasing a new one every year, even though the majority of brands do the same thing. So many people complaining about the carbon face. I wouldn't be surprised that in the next year or 2, or maybe 3 or 4 years, if Taylormade do start showing like significant improvement in the performance, then one of the other brands might give up some aura points and release their own carbon face. Not entirely sure how that will go down, but I'm looking forward to when that most likely happens. Anyway, that is all that I have on it at the moment. If you know anything else that I've not included in the video, then just let me know in the comments and let everybody else know. As usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in another video.